Do you ever feel nervous when you're speaking or writing in English? My name is Raleigh, and one of the times when I feel the most nervous speaking is during a job interview. So today I want to talk to you about some of the foundation of English: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Understanding the difference between these will help you correct so many of your grammar mistakes when speaking and writing in English. Then we'll do some practice together so we can make sure you really understand. And at the end of this video, I will share some advice with you that has helped me get an offer for every job I've ever interviewed for. Are you ready? Let's go. I have a picture here of a job interview. I want you to look at the picture and then tell me all of the things that you see. The things that you see. I will ask you questions during this video, and I want you to actively answer the questions because participating will help you understand and remember the information much better. So what do you see? Well, the things that you see are nouns. Nouns include people, places, things, and ideas. So the people and the things are the things that are nouns that you see in this picture. So for example, maybe you said man, woman, candidate. A candidate is the person who is applying for the job. It's the person that the company is thinking about hiring or thinking about offering the job. So there are probably several candidates interviewing for this position, and candidate in this case is the woman. She's applying for the job. The place is the office, maybe the city, Miami, or the state, Florida, or the country, USA. All of these are nouns that are places. So nouns can also be things. For example, the resume. The resume. You can see the man here holding the woman's resume. It's the document that has all of the information about her and her previous jobs. Nouns also can be ideas. So these are still things, but they're not objects that we see or that we can touch. So for example, an interview. An interview is a noun that's an idea. Other examples of ideas could be happiness, nervousness, feelings. Okay, let's look at verbs. So do you know what verbs are? Lots of times people say that verbs are actions. However, not all actions are verbs. So a better way to determine a verb is words that change tense or time. So let's look at some examples. In this picture, we see the man and the woman are talking, or he is talking, she is talking. So are talking is a verb, and it's a verb that's an action. You can see it, right? I'm talking right now. You can see my mouth moving. However, we could also say she is confident. She is the job candidate. Is also a verb. And you can't see the verb. She's not doing anything when we say she's the candidate. She's not doing anything. So the way you can know that these are verbs for sure is that these words change tense. So for example, for talk, we can say they will talk in the future. In the past, they talked. For is and are, in the future, we can say will be. And in the past, we can say was and were. So because we can move these words into a different tense or a different time, we know they're verbs. So also we could say the woman brought her resume. So brought is the verb. We know because we can change it to the future. Will bring. Or the present. Bring or brings. And this man probably will offer her a job. So verb, will offer. In the past, offered. Present, offer. This is how we know they're verbs. The next type of word are adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns. So we talked about some nouns in this picture. What are some words that you can use to describe nouns like woman, man, candidate, office? Some examples are focused. They are focused on the interview. We're describing the man and the woman or the candidate. And be careful with the pronunciation here. Practice with me. Focused. It's a O. My lips close very tightly. Not O, it's O. Focused. She is confident because she is a prepared candidate. Prepared is an adjective. We could say professional. We could describe the people here as professional. The office is a professional location. We can also say light. The office is very light. It's not dark. And the last kind of word I want to talk to you about is adverb. So adverbs describe verbs and they describe adjectives. So let's look at some examples. One of the verbs we talked about was talk or talking. So we could say the man and woman are talking quietly. They're talking quietly. She is speaking confidently, or she's talking confidently, describing how she's speaking or how she's talking. Those examples both describe verbs, but there's another example here to describe an adjective, very. So we could say she's very prepared, or they are very focused. All of those are adverbs. So now that you know the meaning of noun, verb, adjective, and adverb, let's practice. I have a chart here with noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. And let's see if you can remember what each one means. So there's a list at the bottom of the screen. The first thing says, this changes tense, or these change time. So what does this describe? Noun, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs? Verbs change tense. That's right. And verbs are actions, but are they always actions? No, because we learned that the example be is an are, isn't an action. How about words that describe verbs and adjectives? This is an adverb. Adverbs describe verbs and adjectives. How about words that are people, places, things, and ideas? Very good. Those are nouns. People, places, things, and ideas. And what kind of words describe nouns? Adjectives. Excellent work. So now I'm going to tell you a story about my friend here, John, who had a terrible interview. So I'm going to tell you the story about John's terrible interview, and you can see some words here next to the picture. As I tell you the story, I want you to think about what these words are. So for example, the word man. Is it a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? Here we go. So in this picture, you see a man. His name is John, and he had a very terrible interview. His interview was virtual. It was at home on his computer. During the interview, he forgot to prepare the resume, and now he feels really embarrassed. He didn't answer questions well, and he probably will not get a job. So after the interview in this picture, he has a headache and he feels frustration. He has a lot of frustration. So now let's check your understanding. Take a piece of paper and I want you to make the chart of noun, verb, adjective, adverb. Then take these words on the screen and put each word in one category. So for example, the word man, write it as a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, whatever you think. So I'm going to ask that you pause this video and put the words in the chart now, and then we'll check your answers. And it's super important that you practice and actually do this, okay? Because if you practice yourself, it's going to help you remember 3 or 4 times as much of what you learn. So pause the video, write the words in the chart on your piece of paper now. Okay, welcome back. You have your words in your chart, right? Okay, let's see how you did. So the noun here, remember they're people, places, things, and ideas. So we have man and John. These are people. We have an interview, home as the place, the location, computer, resume, questions, job, headache, frustration. So the computer, resume, questions, these are all things. Job, headache, frustration, these are ideas because you can't really see a job. You can't see frustration. You can't see a headache, but they're still things. Verbs. We have had, forgot, feels, didn't answer, will not get. So remember, we know these are verbs because they change tense. So we can say had in the past or will have in the future. Feels in the present or felt in the past. And notice here we also have negative verbs. Didn't answer, will not get. These are still verbs, and the complete verb has the negative word. Didn't answer, will not get. How about the adjectives? Remember, adjectives describe the nouns. So some adjectives from this story are terrible, describing his interview. Virtual, also describing the kind of interview. And embarrassed, describing John's state, his condition, his feeling after the interview. Now notice that frustration also is a feeling, but frustration is the noun form. So frustration is the idea of the feeling, and the adjective form of this word is frustrated. So he feels frustrated, or he has a lot of frustration now. Okay, next. Adverbs. We have very, well, and probably. So the word very is describing the adjective terrible. His interview was very terrible. And the word well describes how he answered the questions. He didn't answer questions well. So it was describing the verb of how he answered. And probably is an adverb describing the job offer. He probably will not get the offer. So how did you do? If you want even more practice, I'm going to show you at the end of this video how you can get more practice exercises from me. And right now, I'm also going to show you some more advanced uses of different types of words. Because some words have multiple functions. Sometimes a word can be an adjective or it can be a noun. Sometimes it can be a noun or it can be a verb. So I'm going to tell you a technique, some advice that I learned when I was graduating from college, and I've used this advice every time I've interviewed for a job, and I have received an offer for every job I've ever interviewed for. Okay, so let's look at this advice, and while I'm telling you the advice, I will show you this technique of how some words can be different functions. So this is the key advice. Before I go to an interview, I imagine the interview questions that they might ask me. I do this before the interview, days before the interview. I write down all the possible questions I think maybe they will ask me during the interview. So let's look at this word interview and the sentences that I have on the screen. I have interview 2 times. So look at the words interview here and tell me, what do you think they are? Are they now? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb or a verb? Well, in the first case, interview is a noun. This is the idea of the interview. And you have a clue here because you have the word an interview. We put articles a and un sometimes before nouns. And the second one, I imagine the interview questions. In this case, interview is an adjective. The word interview is an adjective. What's it describing? It's describing questions. What kind of questions? Interview questions. Let's look at our next example. The next example is the word answer. So what do? I have my imaginary interview questions, and I answer the imaginary interview questions out loud to myself. And doing it out loud means I'm actually speaking, and I promise you this is the most important part, because thinking of the answers and practicing speaking the answers are completely different. So I answer these imaginary questions out loud to myself, and I practice the answer several times. For each interview question, I practice the answer out loud several times. So let's look at the word answer in these sentences. What do you think they are? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs? Well, in the first sentence, this is a verb. It's a present verb. I answer the imaginary questions. In the future, I will answer, or I am going to answer. Past, I have answered, or I answered. In the second sentence, I practice the answer several times. In this case, we have a noun. I practice the answer. It's a thing. It's an idea because I can't see it. Well, if I write down my answer, I can see it. But if I say the answer, I cannot see it. What do I do next? Let's look at the word home. I practice this way at home. I make sure my home office is free of distractions while I'm practicing. So in these sentences, what is the function of the word home? Well, in the first sentence, we have a noun. It's the idea, the location. And the second sentence, I make sure my home office is free of distractions. Home is an adjective in this case because it's describing the type of office. It's my home office. Finally, we have the word embarrassed. And I have some sentences here. I never feel embarrassed. I haven't embarrassed myself in an interview. So what is the word embarrassed in these sentences? In the first sentence, it's an adjective. It's describing my condition. It's describing how I feel. I never feel embarrassed. We can also use the noun form of this feeling and say, I never feel embarrassment. I never feel embarrassment. But in the second sentence, I haven't embarrassed myself. We have a verb. It's a present perfect verb. I haven't embarrassed myself. Simple past, we could say I embarrassed or I didn't embarrass, negative. Future, I will not embarrass myself. So how are you feeling? Would you like some more practice? Let me tell you how you can get some. I have a link below this video where you can receive some worksheets from me, some exercises to help you practice these and even more advanced situations. I will give you the answers, I will explain the answers, and make sure you check out the next couple videos in this video series because I'm going to be also describing what a subject of the sentence is, what an object of the sentence is, what a prepositional phrase is. And I promise you that understanding the difference between these things will help you automatically correct so many of your grammar mistakes in your speaking and writing. Also, when you're watching my videos or if you're listening to your other teachers or other videos, you will be able to understand the explanations so much more easily and so much faster. We will be able to explain things to you much more easily and much faster if you understand the differences between these things, okay? So great work today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.